Good morning.
Everybody.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, Mark.
Hi, happy Monday. Great. Okay, I'm sure people are still joining. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hope you had a good weekend. How was the weekend? It was lots of rain again in Jozi. I don't know, wherever you are, how was it? Was the weather good? Not so good our side, but we can't complain. I never chase the rain away. Good morning, Devi. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mindful Monday. And it's every Monday. We always make sure every single Monday we are here. As we wait for everybody else to join, let us settle in for a mindful moment where we place our 2 feet firmly on the ground. We take in a nice, slow, deep breath in through the nostrils, breathing in, and slowly exhaling out the nostrils again with control. That's it. Another big breath in through the nose. And slowly exhaling it out the nostrils again with control. Relax, relax, relax. Another big, slow, deep breath in through the nose. And just hold there for a moment, opening your mouth and gently sigh the breath out. There we go. Coming back to a normal, natural breath. Good morning. Yes. Hi, Monique. Lovely to see you here today, and Varsha. And I know a lot of you are regulars. Some of you are new. Be sure to encourage your colleagues to come along, right? We want to build a beautiful community within the organization. We already have. We already have. Good morning, Oriel, Mindful Champion. Good morning, Ronel. Wonderful. Today we are exploring an interesting topic, a beautiful topic, purpose in progress. And we're looking at working out our goals and aligning that to our purpose and our meaning. Okay. I've been really lucky in my life, really, very lucky, because I guess I was always working in corporate jobs. I was managing director of my own business, but I never felt like I was truly living out my life's purpose. I was teaching my life's purpose on the side in the evenings and on weekends, which is pretty much what you're getting from me now. But this is what I was doing in my spare time. And a lot of the time I wasn't making money from it. It was more of like a community offering. And I would talk at wellness studios, I would lead workshops, etc., actually losing more money out of it than I made. And then eventually in 2018, my life shifted when I got a call from Adrian at Mindful Revolution, and I'd been doing some work with the corporates, and he said, "I'm hearing good things about what you're doing." And all of a sudden, my life changed. Because I realized that my passion and the thing that I love the most, which is this, became a reality. And then I actually walked away from my advertising business. So you can imagine walking away from your own company. And my father-in-law at that time thought I was insane. Like, he was like, "How do you walk away from your business to teach what? To teach what? Mental health? There's no money in that." And I was like, "Well, I'm not really after the money, Pops. I'm actually looking for sort of some happiness in my life and letting go of some stress." So that's what I did. And I must say, it's been the best thing I ever did. So I do feel that I'm very qualified today to speak on this subject. Even at school, I would ask my dad, "Please, Dad, I don't like the school that I'm in. It's just very centered around one particular sport." and I don't really like that sport, and they don't focus on academics so much, and they don't acknowledge creative arts, music and drawing and painting, and that was my strength. And I said, Dad, I want to go to the Joburg School of Art. And he said, no, if you do that, you must pay for it yourself. Now, where's a 14-year-old going to get that kind of money? I guess I could have maybe worked part-time jobs, but it was pretty hard not having a parent that supported what you wanted to do. So I guess all my life I've been trying to get here to this place, right? And I'm now 52 years old. And it's taken me a while to actually find what I love doing. And I really hope to God that you've got something in your life that you love. And as I said, it was always a side hustle. And it's not so much of a hustle. I don't like that word. I was teaching in the evenings. I was studying. I was reading. I was doing coaching. I was even doing weddings and funerals as part of it, So anyway, it was really interesting. Anybody been to Japan? I would love to go. It's one of those places on my bucket list, I'd absolutely love to go to Japan. I think it's so pretty, and the culture is really quite amazing. I believe it's very overpopulated, but it's definitely on my bucket list. Okay. Anybody been to Japan? No one here? Okay. I was curious, right? I was curious to see if anybody has been to Japan. But the one thing that I love about Japan is that they've got some interesting resilience tools. The one such tool is kintsugi, which I love. It's broken ceramics and how you fix them, but it's very much got to do with broken pieces, putting yourself back together, the gold of meaning and purpose. I've done that. I've run a few sessions. I've even broken some bowls live on this sort of channel. But today we're going to look at Ikigai, which is a Japanese concept. And here it is, right? There's the Ikigai model. Have you ever seen this model before? Ikigai it basically means iki, meaning alive or life, and gai, meaning benefit or worth. So if you combine those terms, it's basically what gives your life worth, meaning, or purpose. And it's similar to the French term raison d'être, or reason for being. I hope I said that right. I'm not very good at French. But in this session, we're going to delve into the definition of Ikigai and the philosophy behind it, and maybe see how it fits into your life, this model, okay? So there's a Japanese psychologist, Michiko Kumano, said that Ikigai is a state of well-being that arises from devotion to activities one enjoys, which also brings a sense of fulfillment. And interestingly enough, if you get to a balance of your Ikigai, your physical wellness and your mental wellness is peak, like very healthy, okay? If you can balance these things in your life. If these things in your life are unbalanced, then we might suffer from burnout, stress, and also physical problems. So I guess the question today is, where do you find your happiness, all right? Is it in pleasure or is it in meaning? Where do you find your happiness? Would love to hear your thoughts, and maybe you want to put up your hand and contribute. This lady's eating an ice cream. She's obviously enjoying the pleasure aspect, and is that happiness for you? Is happiness all about finding pleasure, or is happiness a little bit more, or is it a combination of both? I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Where do you find your happiness? Where do you find your happiness? Is it in pleasure, or is it in meaning? And I must say, I do enjoy pleasure. I think there's moments, right? There's moments. Interestingly enough, if we study the works of Dr. Viktor Frankl, he got through the Auschwitz camp, and during the Second World War, he was a prisoner, but he kept on talking about the importance of meaning, right? And listen, pleasure, if you think about it. Okay, let's think about it now. Who loves chocolate? I love chocolate. Okay, I absolutely love chocolate. I'm a chocoholic. My father caused that problem. Let's have a look. Lebogang, combination of both. Okay, pleasure being the first. Let's see. Zanande, meaning and pleasure, both. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think that's healthy. I think it's healthy. Oh, Mary's here. Hi, Mary. Gives me pleasure to add value. Definitely both. I like the way you put that, actually. Mina, pleasure. Right. So, yeah, when I trained in this temple for 3 years, similar to a Japanese temple, similar to that. And the monk there said to me that chasing pleasure is like licking honey off a razor blade. How's that for an analogy? Licking honey off a razor blade. The monk said to me, pleasure will always turn into pain. I don't know if you agree with that. But let's think about it. Chocolate. Let's take a chocolate bar, right? That first line is amazing. Like, wow, it hits your taste buds. You just feel pleasure. Okay. You break off more chocolate, you eat more. Not as good as the first hit. You break off more and you eat, and you eat more and more, and until you almost finish the slab. But by the end of the slab, it doesn't taste good anymore. I don't know. Is that just me? Is that just me? So the more I indulge in pleasure, the less pleasurable it becomes. Yeah. How hectic is that, Zuza? The more I indulge in pleasure, the less the pleasure becomes. All right. Any addict will tell you that. But I do enjoy pleasure, right? But I do feel that sustainable happiness comes from meaning and purpose in your life. Yeah, it is a bit dark. Here we go. Here's a real big question. This guy's name. Is anybody going to try and take a shot in pronouncing his name? Does anybody know how to pronounce this person's name? Come on, take a guess. I would love to hear you try. Pauline?
Go. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
No, I'm sorry. Let's see if you're right. Let's see if you're right. Did Pauline get it, guys? Here we go. I just want to see if there's anybody else that wants to give it a try. Yo, I've tried so many times and I can't. Okay, is Pauline right? Pauline, please say it again.
Mark, you know I'm laughing at myself at this point. Okay, I'm gonna try again.
Give it a try.
Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
Your tongue is so twisted. Zuzo, you give it a try. Come on.
I think it's a Muholi Tebekulu.
Sounds Zulu. Well, a good try, guys. Good try. Good try. Here it is. I'm going to put you both out of your misery. You funny guy. Let's see.
We are looking at how to pronounce this name, the name of this Hungarian-American psychologist. How do you say it? Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
Csikszentmihalyi. Cheek sent me high.
Cheek.
Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
Okay, thanks,
pretty
bud.
straightforward. And now you know.
Okay.
Did you get this? Was this really helpful?
Okay,
Let
yeah,
me know in
thanks.
the comments and by using the like button.
Thanks.
Thank you kindly for your support. More
Csikszentmihalyi.
videos on how to pronounce more interesting names from history. I'll see you there to learn more. More
Yeah.
names for science as well.
Okay. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Sediwe, if you remember it like that, then fine. That's hilarious. Csikszentmihalyi. Maybe they're pulling our leg. Anyway, this guy, he spoke about the flow state. Thanks, Kitametz. I just had a laugh trying to pronounce this. We all had a laugh trying to pronounce this name. It's ridiculous. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Okay, that's it. But well done. Thanks for trying. Thank you guys for trying. He was talking about the flow state. Okay, the flow state, and I'm sure you've all heard of the flow state. And it's really, it relates to Ikigai because when you're in the flow state, you're in the zone. And they say when if you're a high performing athlete or you're breaking records or you smashing that assignment or you're delivering that public talk, I don't know. It's like flow is a string of best moments, right? The best moments when a person's body or mind is stretched to the limit in an effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile, and you're just feeling it, you're smashing it, right? And it's when you're doing something you love, something you're good at, and you're bringing value to other people's lives, and that is your Ikigai, basically. Okay, so think about your flow states, right? Think about if this is basically your flow state. You love it. You're good at it. You're getting, it's what the world needs. Maybe what are you doing when you get in your flow state? Is the clip still playing in the background? Are you guys still hearing the clip playing? I think it's over now. Tashmeen, is it still playing? I hope not. Okay.
No, it's not.
No, in our heads.
Yeah, the earworm, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Csikszentmihalyi. What did you say? I can't even remember now. Anyway, what are you doing when you're in the flow state? Okay, I when I was at school, I liked to draw and paint, as I said earlier, and sometimes my mom and dad would go to bed, my sister would go to bed, and I'd be painting, drawing on canvas with acrylic paints. Next thing I look, and it's 2:00 in the morning, and I've got school. I've got to get up for school at 5:30, and I'm like, wow, 2:00 in the morning. How did that happen? I didn't even know. Like, time just disappeared. I know some people with gaming, right? With online gaming, same story. You can play until 2-3 in the morning. You don't even know. Like, time just poof. That is the flow state. Like, you're not even aware of time. Anybody? Is there something that you enjoy doing that you know that you're in the flow? It's interesting, right? So let's say gaming, for an example. You love it. You're good at it. Can you be paid for it? I don't know. You see, that's the thing. Does the world need it? I don't know. So that's not a complete Ikigai, right? The complete Ikigai is you love it, you're good at it, the world needs it, and you can get paid for it. All right. Do you have an Ikigai in your life? Do you have something in your life that's making you Ikigai? So it's important to know that it's not just for yourself, but you are connected to the society at large, your colleagues, your organization. It's that interconnectedness with everybody else, right? Because that's what the world needs. And then you feel happy. So I guess taking into account, you love it, you're good at it, but what do you do that makes other people happy? Is it baking? I mean, oh my word. Listen, I mean, I've never baked a muffin or a cake in my life, right? And I always think I'd love to learn. But when people bake a cake or a cookie or something like that, I just think that's incredible, right? That is someone's Ikigai. And my sister's, my brother-in-law's sister, she's made a living out of baking and making cakes. So she's good at it. She loves it, okay? She gets paid for it, and it's what the world needs are some nice, yummy chocolate cakes, okay? And that is her Ikigai, okay? So think about it. What is it that you like doing that makes other people happy? Is there something, and it can be your job right now, all right? Just think about it. Like, who was it? Khalil Gibran, a Lebanese, one of my cousins. He said, work is love made visible. Okay, work is love made visible. So is what you do a form of love for others? Yes, of course it is. Because if you didn't do your job, other people would struggle. Other people wouldn't have the service that they need. right? Your clients, your customers would be just a little bit less satisfied if you weren't doing your job. Think about it. You are part of a beautiful whole, and without you, there's a bit of a void, and it's love, okay? And if you're doing it with love, if you're doing your job with love, that's just extra powerful. So think about the ikigai, all right? Think about the ikigai. So I just think we were born wanting to be there for other people. I do believe this. I think as a human being, we all want to love and care and feel compassion and empathy. Because generally when we see someone in need, people help them. You know, maybe there's a child they lost in the shopping mall. People don't stand around and laugh, ha ha ha, stupid kid, ha ha. No, they don't do that, okay? If the child is crying, we will all go to that child and say, where's your mom? Where's your dad? And we'll help that child because we know they're lost. We don't laugh at them. We also love stories about superheroes, you know, Marvel superheroes, Black Panther, Superman, you know, Spider-Man, whatever. These people that save the world, right? Wonder Woman. There's always movies about good girls and guys, they're saving the world. And we love those movies, okay? We love those movies about the bad being taken out and by the good guys, you know, because we want that. We want to see that. And part of this ikigai is to feel that we are making a difference in the world, that we are doing good in the world, all right? Even the bad guys think they're doing good in the world, right? They do. Even the bad guys, whoever the bad guys are that you think they are. Because I can tell you now, whoever you're thinking about now is a bad guy. Somebody thinks that they are the best guy or the best girl, right? That just blows my mind. Like there's no inherent bad person in this world, okay? Because everybody's trying to help everybody else. It's just sometimes people really don't understand and get it really, really wrong. All right, so let's have a little look and see. Maybe you want to grab a little, maybe you want to grab a pen or a pencil and just maybe write down, okay, what do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you get paid for? So if I look at this, I love helping others. I'm good at speaking and facilitating. The world needs mental health support, and I can get paid for it, right? I do corporate work and personal counseling too, right? So I love it. That's my ikigai. So maybe take a moment and write down, right? What do you love? What are you good at? What can you be paid for? And what does the world need? And I'm pretty sure it's your job right now. But if you've got a side thing that you're doing and that's part of your ikigai, then you can include that too. Zizo, jokes and jokes. Cooking, the combo of two is the best. Wow, jokes and cooking. And a bit of fermented grape juice. Yeah. That sounds like a plan. I love that, Zizo. Well done. Yeah. Happiness, cooking, and a little bit of wine. Nice. That's so cool. I love that. Nice combination. That's a cool ikigai right there. So if we look at the sphere of you love it, it brings us joy. It makes you feel alive and fulfilled, right? And maybe it's sailing, or maybe it's writing poetry, or rock climbing, going to the gym. Maybe it's singing in a rock band, or singing in the church choir, gospel songs. Maybe it's reading historical novels or spending leisure time with friends. Those could be the things that you love. Okay. So think deeply about the things that you love. Don't worry right now if you're good at it. Just think, what do I love? Right. Okay. Just what do I love? And then think about, what are you good at? So all the things that you love, write them down, even if they don't connect to the other spheres. Just write them down anyway. Okay? Good. The things you love. Then, are you good at it? So don't include that first sphere. Just write down things that you are really good at. Okay? Maybe it's some hobbies. Maybe it's like playing the piano or being empathetic or public speaking or sports, or maybe you're good at brain surgery. Maybe you're good at painting portraits. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. Pauline, swimming and a healthy lifestyle. Beautiful. That's what you love. Baking. Christina, amazing. Monique, working with people, teaching and motivating people and learning new things. Yeah, beautiful, Monique. And you will, and you are. Amina, singing and watching comedy. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Then what are you good at? Okay, so you're good at singing. You're good at singing. You're good at having a laugh, maybe. Then the world needs it. Okay, that's another sphere. What does the world need right now? What the world needs now is love, sweet love. You know the song? No, it's an old song there. The old song. Edna, singing, reading inspirational, motivational books, learning a new skill every day. I love it. Beautiful. Sewing, many hours making outfits. Beautiful. There you go. Kanyiswa, are you making a bit of chelete there from that? Because I can tell you now that's a proper ikigai. What does the world need right now? Okay, maybe they need clean water, heating, solar panels. Maybe they need politicians. Maybe they need a neighborhood watch. Maybe they need nursing. What does the world need? What does your environment need? What does your organization need? What does your team need today? Maybe you could find something, an opportunity. What do people need? So we, then we can start to write down, what do we think that the world needs right now? And then finally, what can you be paid for doing? And maybe it's exactly what you're doing now. It's your status, it's your job, it's your title, but list all the things that you could get paid for. I had the kids are on holiday, so they knock on my door. Can I wash your car? They're going to get paid for that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Edna. And Ronelle, I love watching videos, read on how we can eat healthy, then discuss this with my sister, daughters, and my mom to inspire them. Beautiful. You see, you're sharing and you're reaching out, and that's a very heartfelt, wholehearted thing to do. Monique's great at motivation. Monique's also a great speaker, by the way. She's a good leader, and she's good at sales, right? How can we start to bring those things together? Mary, I love seeing people believe in themselves, and you're good at seeing the talent in others, and the world needs positivity. And yes, I hope someone is willing to pay me for it. Well, that's the trick, right? How are you going to get chelete for that thing, for money for that thing, right? So that's the intersection. Now we've got to start looking at the intersection, and that's the sweet spot in the diagram. Okay. Something you're passionate about, that you're good at, the world needs, and someone's going to pay you for it. Maybe you do crisis counseling, okay? That's really good, and that could be a sweet spot for you, yeah? So, I mean, there you go. And then a lot of the time we can turn our pain into our purpose, all right? So a lot of us have been through trauma. We've been through bad stuff. I went through a divorce. Now I'm studying to be a divorce mediator, so that I can mediate between husband and wife, or husband, wife, whatever. I can mediate and try and encourage them to stay married. You see? But if it's not possible, then of course I can mediate the process. So I'm turning my pain into some purpose right there. All right. And then spend time with people that inspire you, and that you can hopefully some of their passion and ikigai rubs off on you. Maybe people have succeeded in their ikigai, and you're going, oh, I haven't. Who is doing their ikigai really well? I'm going to hang out with that person. I'm going to buy them lunch. I'm going to talk to them and find out what's their secret. Okay. Mashaba, baking, public speaking, preaching, teaching. I've just got a baking side hustle. Delivered a birthday cake. Wow. Nice. Before your workday started. Yeah, make some chilete this morning. Nice. Ka-ching. Nice one, Mashaba. Nice one. I love it. I love it. And before you guys run off and start doing your Ikigai planning, because it's Monday and you're all fired up and motivated, why don't we do a little, oof, look at that cake. Oh my goodness. That is next level. Wow. You're very talented, by the way. You're very talented. Sure. That's a masterpiece. That's a masterpiece. Congratulations. That is a real Ikigai project right there. Okay. And it makes you happy. And the world needs it. And I love it. That's so cool. Thank you for sharing that picture. Yes. Oh, Monique, of course we can have lunch. Of course we can have lunch. Definitely, I'll reach out to you and we're going to make it happen because I've got a plan for us, right? I've got a little plan for us. I know we've been talking about it. So let's get together and have lunch. That sounds great. Guys, I've popped the survey monkey in the chat. Click it on. And it's going to take you into a quick survey, right? You can see there in the survey from number 0 to 10, 0 means never and 10 means always. So 0, how frequently have you felt calm and peaceful? 0 would be never and 10 would be always. So where do you find yourself on the scale? How often have you felt physically healthy and full of energy? 1 is not very much. And 10 is always. So are you somewhere in between? Just it's quick sliding scale. No one's going to know that this is you. It goes into a collective bit of research data for wellness, for Kitumetse and Mbali, and for all of us to sort of gauge where are we doing as an organization and the people in the organization. You know why? Because we care. We care about your well-being. And if the well-being is low and we're not getting a good reading, then we need to ramp it up, right? We need to help you guys even more. So thank you. Please do the survey. It will help us. Monique, I will reach out to you. Guys, thank you for attending this session today, this Monday on Ikigai. Don't forget it. It's an easy word to remember. Give it a go, and maybe you'll find something spectacular, something amazing, or something that you have already and it's your job that you're doing, but it's your Ikigai because you realize, oh my God, this is my meaning, right? This is my purpose. Fantastic. And celebrate your jobs, celebrate your organization, celebrate your talents, what you studied, your gift to this world, to the bank, to everything. So, God bless. And thank you for joining. Thanks, Kitumetse. Thanks, Monique. Thanks, everyone. Have a beautiful week. It's going to be a good week. And then next week is short weeks. Short weeks are coming. Thanks, Adiwe. Take care of yourself. Thank you, Kitumetse. Thanks, Emelina. Thank you. Go get your Ikigai. Go get your Ikigai. Patricia, thank you so much. Thanks, Vanessa. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys are great. Thank you, Mary. So much love for you. Thanks, Mary. Hope you're well.